So the big question is this: how do small businesses like yours, who feel like you're doing all the right things and going to all the right events, reach the federal buyer in a way that helps you win more contracts? That is the question, and this is the place to get your answers. My name is Neil McDonnell. Welcome to the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. Okay, let's get started. There are a lot of services available to you if you're thinking about starting a business and selling to the federal government. In this series, Introduction to Government-Funded Resources, I'll walk you through these organizations and help you understand how to get the most of their services. Today, I'll focus on the Small Business Administration's Procurement Center Representatives, or PCRs. First, though, this content's brought to you by the GovCon Chamber of Commerce, the only organization dedicated to the success of all small businesses in the federal space, with members from Guam to the U.S. Virgin Islands and every single state in between. Each year, roughly $125 billion is awarded to small businesses as prime contractors. Our vision is to double that number by helping small businesses truly understand the process for success. Small businesses are the backbone of America. By helping you succeed further in government contracting, we'll be helping the American communities. My name is Neil McDonnell, and I've been where you are now. I've been a small business owner for 20 years, building 2 successful firms selling to the federal government. I've won subcontracts with small and large prime contractors. I've won prime contracts with defense and civilian agencies. I've done things right and I've gotten things wrong. The one thing missing, though, for me then and you now is an easy to follow process that'll lead to predictable success. That's my commitment to you. I'll provide the process. If you accept responsibility and don't blame others, you'll find you have the control to shape your future. There are 7 primary organizations or groups that can serve as mentors on your journey to small business success in federal government contracting. In a separate video, I provided a quick introduction to those 7 mentors: the Small Business Development Centers, Women's Business Centers, Veterans Business Outreach Centers, Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, Agency Small Business Professionals, and the SBA's Business Opportunity Specialists and Procurement Center Representatives. Take a minute and watch that video if you haven't. If you'd like to get a PDF of this slide with the 7 government mentors, leave a nice comment below asking for a copy and I'll get it to you. Let's go ahead and move forward and learn about the Procurement Center Representatives. In this brief introduction to Procurement Center Representatives, I'll tell you a little bit about them. I'll give you an idea of what services they offer and where at. And finally, I'll give you my 2 cents on how a PCR can help you. Take a look at the FAR and CFR to learn more about the specifics of a PCR and their responsibilities. Primarily, though, they carry out the Small Business Administration's policies and programs. Because of their oversight responsibility, they work with small business professionals and the acquisition staff on a regular basis. They're very tightly dialed into the contracting offices within their area of responsibility. PCRs increase the small business share of federal procurement awards by initiating small business set-asides, reserving procurement for competition among small business firms, providing small business sources to federal buyers, and counseling small businesses like yours. In addition, PCRs advocate for the breakout of items for full and open competition to affect savings to the federal government. Basically, they're watching out for huge contracts almost designed to prevent small business participation. PCRs can review all acquisitions that are not totally set aside for small businesses to determine whether a set aside or a sole source award to a small business under one of the SBA programs is appropriate, and then to identify alternative strategies to maximize the participation of small businesses in the procurement. They also advocate for the maximum practical utilization of small business concerns, you guys, in federal contracting. Together with their duties to promote the set aside of procurements for small businesses, PCRs may identify small businesses that are capable of performing particular requirements. So not only are they doing oversight, but sometimes they're making referrals right back into those buying commands. The last area of service I want to mention is subcontracting. PCRs not only try to maximize small business set-asides, but they also monitor compliance with small business subcontracting goals and plans. If you feel like a large, for example, firm is not fully utilizing smalls, just reach out to the PCR and ask. But it's also a great way to just proactively reach into the PCR to check. SBA Procurement Center Representatives are generally located in federal agencies and buying activities which have major contracting programs. As you can see here, there's 47 of these folks out there based out of the 6 SBA regional offices. You can find a list of the PCRs, their contact information, et cetera, on the SBA's website at www.sba.gov/local-assistance. While everyone will say they can help you with everything, I believe that each of the mentions I mentioned in the previous slide fill a specific need. So here's my 2 cents on procurement center representatives. PCRs are unhesitating with their advice and guidance on navigating both the federal sector and their specific customer base. I interviewed a lot of them not too long ago in a series of podcast episodes. Their advice is timeless since government contracting is a very mature and proven process. You can find those 9 episodes at www.govconchamber.com/blog. And then just in the search box, type PCR. One of the most knowledgeable people in the federal government space is the procurement center representative, who's aware of virtually every major procurement happening throughout their various agencies. But 99 out of 100 small businesses aren't even familiar with what a PCR is, let alone know and have a working relationship with them. This is why I say they're untapped. Now, don't go knocking on their doors if you're not making revenue. They won't really be able to help you. That's what the SBDCs and PTACs are for. But if you're making money with your core competency in the federal space, then reach out and start developing a relationship with them. The last thing to keep in mind is that PCRs can help push an opportunity to small. There is often the problem with contracts being pushed full and open, generally because a large firm convinces someone a small can't do the job. PCRs can advocate on your behalf, especially if they see data and evidence to support that decision. A good way to provide the evidence is to work with your competimates, those firms that do what you do and who you sometimes team with and sometimes compete with, hence the term competitimate. Don't make the PCR do all the work. If you can bring 5 or 10 companies to their awareness, that will help them help you try to push an opportunity to small business set aside. So your task for today should be identify the PCR who's responsible for your primary agency, then schedule a 15-minute intro call. Good luck with that. Let me know how it goes. If you found this content valuable, others will too. Please give it a thumbs up so they can find it. If you'd like to connect with me personally, do so on LinkedIn. We often do free training webinars and interview federal buyers. Make sure you sign up for the GovCon Chamber's email list to be notified about these opportunities. And you can do that at www.govconchamber.com. Finally, please consider becoming a sustaining member of the GovCon Chamber of Commerce. I'm Neil McDonnell, wishing you great success.